All right, guys, we are back. We are planning on getting
The Bonnevilles.
motor in the car today. We are just going to be putting the accessory belt tensioner on here, and then I guess we just need to start moving the engine lift over here so we can get to the back plate here. We just remove that gasket on the back cover, put the new gasket on, and the last things we need to do is we just need to check, find our bell housing bolts, and then the flywheel or flex plate bolts, and then the torque converter bolts.
Yep, we just bolt the torque converter, fill it with fluid, put it in the transmission. Oh, also we're gonna have to press out that pilot bearing.
Yeah, I've read it will probably work with it in there, but it's probably better safe than sorry if it like comes out on its own while it's in the car. I don't know. We might do more research.
I imagine that could come out with the torque converter right on it. Could it?
I don't know. The converter doesn't go in there. It does come close though. We also need to go to Park Rose to get more exhaust manifold bolts. Well, I think
probably some other bolts as well.
Yeah, our plan, I think that could work, is put the exhaust manifolds in, or at least the rear in first, and then drop the engine in there, because it should just fall right in place pretty much and be less of a hassle, but ultimately we can still not do that. I'd say just at least the back exhaust manifold, get it in place, clamped on, and then that way we can just easily get it on. We have like one stud on each side, so we can at least align it. And yeah, I mean, we'll just have to, proceed with what we have, and if we find anything that we need, like bolts or whatever else, we'll have to go to the store. We also need to put the starter back on.
Alright.
Yeah, starter's over there. That bolts up, I think, right here. No, bolts up right here.
Damn, this paint! This fucking engine wasn't clean enough. Damn it.
You want to do any touch-up paint before we put it in?
Fuck no. Oh, wow. Unless the paint sticks to itself, it ain't gonna stick.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'm more concerned about getting the damn thing in the car.
Yeah. Oh, we'll definitely want to put spark plugs in it before we put it in, too.
I can change them out in 20 minutes myself, but it would be better for me if we did them now. I don't have any replacements. I also don't have an exhaust manifold gasket right now, so I didn't have time to go to the store yet.
We have Project Fs, but, I mean, if we're going to go to the store, which we need to anyways, we'll just buy new ones.
Plus, we could go to O'Reilly's, get the gasket, and also we could get new exhaust clamps. Because I know that for this one...
Yeah, that one definitely
needs it. I think we straight up threw them away.
The other one, too.
And I think we threw them both away.
They were just back clamps.
And I've got this really shitty one, but I don't think it's going to be... I don't think we should use this type.
That one would work, but yeah, probably something else. And also while we're there, I want to get some copper gasket maker.
Uh-huh.
And we can even seal it with copper gasket maker, then clamp it.
Okay.
Because that's pretty much what you should do with exhaust manifolds or any exhaust coupling, is use a copper gasket maker.
Okay.
Because it'll just seal it really well. We need to get the knock sensors in. We can take those out of the old motor here.
Yep, for certain.
We got the new axles, but that's not extremely important right now to get the motor in. We need to check for what are the bell housing bolts. Are these the bell housing bolts? It might be.
Damn. I wish we could go to the parts store right now so I could just so we could get some gloves.
If they even have gloves.
I didn't even think about that not being a possibility.
Yep.
Shit.
So we're going to go ahead and evaluate what we need, and then I think we're just going to head to the store right away and get what we need. And we will update you once we're back. I think once we're back, we're just going to go ahead and we need to put the rest of the bolts on the oil pan, I think. We might have done that. I don't remember. That's the last thing we need to do while it's on the stand.
Yeah. So.
And then we can take it off the stand and get ready to install it in here. Also, just so you guys know, we've identified that these two jack stands are part of the Harbor Freight recall, so we're not going to be using those. We already have jack stands under Project F. We actually are probably going to drop by Harbor Freight to get these replaced, because they'll do it for free. I think from what I know, they'll give you like a gift card for this value of the original purchase price, and then you can just go straight and transfer him to a new jack stand.
I don't know why they don't just here have the new ones.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Let me show people just. This is what a lot of people do for the front transmission mount. They use these bolt rollers and drill a hole through it, and put a big bolt. But this is what you would buy traditionally. Hello?
There's no.
Oh shit! It's not bolted.
Yeah. I'll just hold it. It's fine.
That's what you would buy traditionally, I think.
Yep.
Hopefully this rubber doesn't fucking. It looks like it's coming off already. Hopefully it remains good and not shitty.
Well,
oh
now,
yeah. By the way, are we gonna dynamite that?
Yeah.
So we'll do that today too.
So we've been told that you put dynamite right there where that green mark is on the transmission, and it helps reduce like false knock.
You know what? I never even thought about it until he said something like, "Oh, on that green mark." You know what? This cannot be a stock transmission because at like any junkyard, they mark their parts with green paint.
Really?
They mark them.
Damn.
So I'm pretty sure this is an aftermarket transmission. Not an aftermarket. This is a transmission that wasn't in this car. I'm pretty sure this came out of a junkyard or a parts place somewhere. Because every time I've gone to like a pick and pull or junkyard, anything, they always mark my parts that I buy with green.
So once we get the engine up and over here, we'll lower it down.
Oh, yeah.
We'll need to get it lined up with the, it has dowels on the engine, so we'll line it up with the bell housing. And then we need a hook under the motor mount on the oil pan to that motor mount there.
Okay.
I'm just checking if those are the right ones.
Yeah, wondering.
Yep, we just need to find where some of these go. I mean, the AC condenser or compressor, whatever that is, we need to figure that out. Also, most definitely need to start running new intercooler lines.
Yep. Oh, you know what? Park Rose, that's where I buy all my hose. So we can also get it there.
Nice.
But I'm thinking I can just do my intercooler stuff when the Bonnie's home.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, you know, I can work on it in the nighttime and the daytime.
We also, I bought another GoPro. So Tris can actually borrow this one and he can record his progress with that.
Yeah, that one is having issues for some reason.
Yeah.
It's not turning on?
Yeah, it'll just be randomly not turning on. It's forecasted to rain it later, so we got a canopy so we can cover ourselves. There's a big thunderstorm this morning.
I think we got everything we need.
Yep. We should probably head to the parts store.
Yeah. So let's get the bolts that we need. So remind me.
Well, we need to figure out the bell housing bolts.
Okay.
We need to figure out the torque converter bolts, so whatever go in the torque converter.
Uh-huh.
And then we just need to find my ARP or your ARP flex plate bolts.
Flex plate bolts. Okay. What about
I don't know where they ended up. We'll just have to look around.
Okay. Oil pan bolts, flex plate bolts, bell housing bolts.
Yep.
What else?
To get it in the car, I think that's it.
Okay.
Exhaust manifold bolts.
Ah, yes, we need to buy those.
So I put a couple over here. These two. This is what it looks like.
Okay, I'll look for them then.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and figure out what bolts we need, and then head to the parts store. All right, guys, we are back from the parts store. We got a lot of bolts for the engine here. We thought we got the right exhaust manifold bolts, but I guess we did not. So, I mean, I think we have all of the stuff that we would need. We just wanted to buy extra because we need some for this motor too. We got the torque converter bolts because we couldn't find them. These are grade or class 10.9, which is basically a grade 8 bolt. They are still too small though. Even 3/4 is too small for this, so we're gonna have to cut it. Plan is to like thread this bolt on and then cut off from the top so we don't mess up any threads. We do have a bigger problem at hand though. It is just started pouring rain. We got the canopy set up, and I don't think it's gonna be tall enough for us to put the engine in here. Not only that, like I said earlier, there's some crazy thunderstorms happening right now, and we've effectively created a large, you know, lightning rod, I guess. I don't know too much about it, so we are, I mean, there's some tiny stuff that we can still do. We can at least, I would say, get the engine on the engine lift, and if we need to leave it for today, just leave it.
Okay.
But take it off the stand and get it, like, literally completely ready, get the back
What's the weather
on.
going to be like tomorrow?
Probably still more rain.
It says 20% chance, and and partly cloudy. We could maybe try and throw it in tomorrow.
Tomorrow is actually not showing any rain for me.
Oh, really?
It's supposed to rain like in the middle of the night, but the rest of the day is just supposed to be cloudy.
We could try and throw it in and get it as close as we can today.
Let's get the Dynamat on here. We'll just cut that out really fast, put it on the transmission, and then let's work on getting the... this is already out pretty much. We'll just set it up and get the engine out and do the rest. We need to put the motor mount on and should be good.
Knock sensor.
Oh, also, guys, if you bring your jack stands to Harbor Freight, if they have them, they'll just straight replace them for you. So they don't give you like a gift card, they'll just straight replace them. So that's what we did. So we have safe jack stands now. So let's get this on. This guy just goes on like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's get the engine hoist over here, lift it up so we can get the back cover off. And yeah, and then we should be ready to attempt to put it in. Once it's bolted on the back, that'll hold it on, and then there's this front motor mount. We'll need to take the passenger side wheel off to reach it, but that's fine. And we're not sure if we're actually going to paint this either because we kind of just want to get it done.
Yeah, my bad, but honestly, I'd rather see the engine going. And honestly,
it's going to be over here. You're not even going to see it with the alternator in the way.
If with the if we get the engine bolted up, you know, we could leave it with the hoist on it if we need to overnight.
Yeah.
And then do it. So the exhaust manifold bolts aren't going to work out.
Well, we can use the ones from Project F. We're also going to have to use the exhaust manifold gaskets from Project F because we couldn't find any parts store that had them.
And then the torque converter bolts will have to be cut. We didn't. Yeah, literally.
They did not.
Thought they would be perfect.
They didn't have any shorter than 3/4, so I think I need to take off like that much because it bottoms out and hits the side.
And then with the flex plate on it, you can feel it. There's play in it.
Yeah.
You can wiggle. So we do need to cut it down for that reason.
Yep, and then we'll get we'll use Loctite on all this.
All right, let's get to it.
We also couldn't find any spark plugs, so we'll just reuse the ones he had, or he can just buy some new ones, and he says he can do it easily. So
yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm probably actually gonna put those back in so the engine isn't left just with holes in it, you know. And then I'm just gonna get some at offline. O'Reilly's, I've bought in TR6 NGKs.
I wouldn't tighten them very hard either. No. Just finger tight.
Yeah, definitely not. I've bought NGK TR6s for this thing twice before, and then they just don't keep them anymore. So I'm shit out of luck.
Kind of luck.
It's pretty annoying. I've never had this issue before because my old Honda constantly had parts in the part store, but now after doing this engine rebuild, and not necessarily just engine components, like anything we've needed, we've gone to part stores and they have not had, which is so fucking. It's really upsetting when you waste that amount of time and then.
Yep. So to hold the engine on, I think we could probably take off these limb bolts and connect them there, right there and there. You think, or is that not strong enough?
Well, the only just like one bolt.
Yeah, because we have the two chains that'll just like sit on there.
What about these bolts? These bolts don't look
on
like
the cylinder
they go
head.
to anything.
Yeah, the cylinder head.
Let's do that.
Okay. Hope they can fit.
So I'll look for some bolts.
Yep, so we're going to go ahead and get this ready to go. Yeah, like I said, we just need to get the rear cover on. And yeah, we can start filling the torque converter with trans fluid and should be good. All right, guys, we made some more progress. I got the torque converter bolts trimmed to size and they thread fine, so it fits on the flex plate now. We also got the front motor mount on, so that's ready to go. That'll hook up to the one like the transmission one did. And we're just putting the accessory tensioner belt on. We're just finding the bolts for that. My faith in doing this today is dwindling. It's like raining even harder. It's just absolutely pouring out here. So at the very minimum, I want to get this on the engine lift and just ready to go. If we have to do this tomorrow it's not like forecasted to rain. We'll probably have to do it then. It's pretty disappointing, but it's just raining so hard. And if you've ever worked out in the rain in your driveway on your car, you know, you can relate to how bad it is.
Fucking sucks.
So yeah, we're just going to continue with this, and we'll probably end off around then once we have it up on the lift and have the back cover on. So,
dude, I cannot find those bolts.
Yeah.
For that damn thing.
You're even having trouble finding that. Maybe it's under the cowl.
Maybe, but we took it off the engine after we pulled it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! It could be some of those.
Yeah, it could be one of those.
I didn't think about it. Let me see that one. Oh no, this could be what we used for the hoist. Could be why it had a nut on it.
True. If it works though.
I don't think so.
Sure, it's not like a stud like this.
See, I don't know. I really don't know.
Some of these are head bolts too.
Yeah, we should have just thrown away the damn things.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and look for this stuff and then see about going from there.
You're gonna piss me off.
All right, we have the engine lift in place and 2 parts on the cylinder head attached to, so it's gonna be pretty strong. We might want to even out the chain here. Yeah, let's go ahead and start lifting it. Once it's tight, we can remove the...
it's taut.
Go a little bit tighter. A little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Should be good. Yep, now we get to remove these.
One. They're all different.
No, do it.
Oh,
keep going.
Don't move. We need to keep these motherfuckers. And then...
That one has a nut on it.
They're all different. Will you tighten it just a little bit?
Yep.
There we go. That should be more than enough. 1 out.
This one just threaded in, I think. There's no nut on it. If you want to try getting this one.
Sure. Oh, sweet. That one too.
Last one.
God damn it. Fuck.
How long has it been on the engine lift? I mean, on the engine stand?
This motor, probably 3 months, maybe.
Probably more than that. Just since it, well, yeah, since we pulled it. Say after 3 months, probably good.
Because the motor blew up in December, so...
That's the last time we made progress on Project F.
Sad.
Nice. Cool. So now we have to get to this back plate. We only put 2 bolts on to hold it. We need to clean off the back because there's still some scraps of the old gasket, and then we don't actually have a new gasket. We're just gonna use our TV. It'll be fine. And yeah, so we need to get 3/8 on this to get these out, and then so last step, I think we need to get the flex plate on. And then I think at that point we'll make our decision if we want to attempt this. Because, like, look at this, where the engine is right now, and the height of that. Mm-hmm. It's going to have to go significantly higher.
That's why I'm saying we need less chain.
Yep, so this side was all clean. We got the new rear main seal in. We just need to take this gasket off. And, then RTV the fuck out of it. And by the way, guys, we did get the oil pan gasket on. We did that actually earlier off camera. You can see right there. We were gonna just bolt it down because we, I guess, just forgot if we had done it or not. Oh, do you want a chair?
Oh, fuck yeah.
There's a chair right there. We can finally put Vince's engine back on this, and then we can get the crank out, and then Vince can take it home. And then we'll be back down to only Project S stuff in here. So we're going to go ahead and clean up this gasket. It is just all on there. And once we're done, we're going to set some RTV on it, give it about 10 minutes, put the cover on, and tighten it down.
Not the most helpful that it's suspended while I do this, so it's just moving around.
I wonder if we can get the floor jack up and like support the bottom.
That might be helpful.
Lower the engine and then do that. All right, we're going to get this cleaned up, and we will be back once we have the cover on. All right, guys, we got the rear cover on. And we're going to go ahead and get the flex plate on. So just use RTV.
Yeah, we used RTV. Not the best, but oh well.
This is one of those flex plates that can only go on one way. Just kind of annoying.
Show me.
Well, you can't really see it, but the bolts don't line up.
Ah, so they line up perfectly like that way and not the other way?
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to know. We're Loctite these bad boys.
You know, it still might not even be the right ones. I don't know. No, those bolts are fine. I mean, like, the bolt lining up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are some ARP bolts we bought for Project F.
Maybe it's just because of the weight. Try throwing it in right now.
So I'm trying. Okay.
It could be the weight of the plate doing that to it.
True.
But yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get the oil pressure sensor or level. I'm not even sure which sensor that is particular. But show you guys what we've done. We got this bad boy on. We got well, actually that was already on. We got that bad boy tightened. This bad boy on. These got that on. This thing on. You know, I mean, all of this doesn't seem like very much progress, right? Not a lot of progress, right? Well, the problem is we didn't mark any of the bolts, and so we just have 4 boxes of bolts that we had to try on every single piece. For Project F, we did separate them and label them, and well, you know what? We were kind of in a hurry to just yank the motor and trans out of my car, so we're not going to do that again.
Oh shit! It doesn't line up. Fuck.
It doesn't?
Literally, this one is the only one that's
What?
not lined up. Yeah, see, they can only
What sense does that make when you have 5 bolts in, but then the 6th one isn't going to line up?
Because life's cruel.
That's ass. Life is cruel when you're a car person. Because cars don't want to be taken apart. They want to hate you. But yeah, all the progress that we've made today, besides going to the store and whatnot, would have been much faster, much more progress, had we just marked the bolts in the first place.
Yeah.
All the shit that we've done to the motor would have been done in 30 minutes or less had we only had marked the bolts. So we're going to put the engine in like this with no supercharger on it, and limb is all good. It's got the gasket, and then once the engine is fully in, gonna put all the bolts in the valve covers. I might do that like before we put it in.
Okay, that looks good. I think they all look like they line up now.
Gonna put the intercooler and supercharger on. I'm not really ready to run the intercooler lines just yet, but that's okay.
Yeah, that'll be something to tackle.
After I get the Bonneville engine in and I have pretty much mostly what I need done to it, we're gonna tow it back to my house, and then she's gonna sit while I do the intercooler, all the wiring, and I don't think there's too much more.
Depending on how quickly we can do it, we might even be able to do it here, because I'd say like one weekend we can just like take your bumper off and just like get it done. It'll be fast.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's Google what these torque specs are. Normally they're like 45 foot-pounds for ARP flex plate bolts.
Davis.
They're actually like 65, at least for
We
mine.
don't do torque spec here. We measure in Ugga-Duggas only.
So these are actually 25 foot-pounds.
Oh, that's not a lot.
Not a lot. And then the bolts going through it to the converter are 47 foot-pounds. So the ones going into the converter.
Ah, that's a lot more.
Yep. Still not a lot though compared to mine. Mine, these were like 65 or 70, and then the torque converter bolts are actually about the same, like 45 foot-pounds.
Oh. RTV is great, but I wouldn't use it unless you have to, honestly.
There we go.
Unless it's a part you're never gonna take off, because well, then you don't have to worry about it.
In this current
Big moves.
configuration, this is ready to go in. We got the flex plate on. What we would do is bring it over there, lower it in, and get it leveled up into the transmission. We would need to put the torque converter in the transmission, of course, first, and then the front motor mount here.
Real fun. But I think that we are going to tackle the engine installation probably tomorrow morning. Yeah, if not, at least try.
It's gotten too late, and the ground's really wet, and it has stopped raining at this point, but it's just like we've done a lot of progress on this. It is literally ready to go and drop in now.
Yep.
So we can just go straight and do it tomorrow, and it's not supposed to rain, and it should dry up. So
these should help. Certified, not gonna kill you jack stands.
Yep. All right, guys. So I think we're gonna end off the video here. We have the engine pretty much ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and clean up the garage, but we just need to snake this in, get the motor mount on, and then attach to the bell housing and torque converter bolts. If you guys are interested, we have Jury Rig Garage stickers, $3.50. Just message us and we'll work it out. But otherwise, I think that is it.
Is that $3.50 shipped?
Yeah, I'll send it for $3.
That's really good.
Yep. So, yeah, I think that's going to end it off. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video.